So, welcome to today's second session of Bits and Bytes with me, Birte Seffert. This is me. I work for GSO, Guidance, Skills, and Opportunities for Researchers. We are an independent nonprofit in Berlin with more than 20 years of experience, and we offer tailored career guidance, for instance, through CV checks, coachings, or interview trainings. We also offer targeted skills development through workshops like this, for instance, and innovative funding programs mainly for PhD level researchers to shape and advance their careers in academia and beyond. Find out more through our website or follow us on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is also the topic of today's second session. We are going to address a hot topic, I think, with LinkedIn. And I want to give you a few insights on how you can use LinkedIn as a researcher. So I will talk about what LinkedIn can do for you, what you can use it for without having to turn into an influencer. I'm also going to tell you a few things about the essentials of a strong LinkedIn profile and simple ways to increase your visibility, and how to get you started on your first posts. And with that, we're going to have a practical exercises and a posting competition at the end with a short prize or with a little prize also for the best post. But more on that at the end of my little talk. All right. So LinkedIn, I think, can do a lot for you without becoming an influencer. Or without having to spend an awful lot of time on it. And LinkedIn becomes most useful, I would say, when it supports the way researchers already think and work. It does not need to be a stage or a branding exercise or a bragging exercise. Instead, it can function as an extension of everyday research practice. Observing, sharing, testing ideas, and connecting with others who face similar questions. So one way to use LinkedIn, in my opinion, is for academic networking. So LinkedIn can serve you as a platform for professional exchange with your scientific community or scientific peer group. It can help you gain increased visibility also with your scientific peer group. And it can help you expand your own scientific sphere of influence. So academic networkers usually communicate on a case-to-case basis, so rather occasionally, for instance, about articles, research results, conference participations, their PhD or habilitation, interesting contributions to colloquia, etc., etc. And hobbies and interests that extend beyond academia are rarely communicated. So posts and online profiles primarily project professionalism and seriousness. Yet the content can be personal and should be always authentic. So small insights, early ideas, and real questions often resonate more with your network than polished success stories. They show how you approach problems and make your expertise visible in a more natural way. Another way to use LinkedIn is for proper science communication. And if you are enthusiastic and passionate about making scientific content understandable for external audience, then LinkedIn can also be your platform. So the focus here is more on engaging with a broader audience beyond your immediate scientific peer group. So the public, science enthusiasts, or students, for instance. Science communicators regularly publish posts, and they know the vibe of their network. They often ask their followers questions and participate in discussions also on thematically related channels. The content is usually well prepared. Science communicators often have their own formats and are regularly repeated. And last but not least, They are also open to requests for lectures, keynotes, interviews, or to appear as guests on TV programs, for instance. Now, for you to decide whether you want to use LinkedIn for academic networking or science communication, I recommend two things. First, check who from your scientific community, your field of research, is active on LinkedIn and how they are active. So, what do they post? Academic positions, open academic positions, scientific news and updates, their own learnings, ideas, and maybe also difficulties or challenges or questions to the scientific community. And check also if there are maybe science communicators from your field and your discipline. If so, follow them and learn from them. The second thing is consider how much time you can invest realistically to be active on LinkedIn. So, for instance, can you afford to be active on LinkedIn on a regular basis or rather occasionally on a case-to-case basis? Because ideally, your activities on LinkedIn are low effort but consistent. What can help you with making the most out of your time is building a posting rhythm that fits your workload. So long-term consistency matters more than frequency. A weekly post or a brief discussion can be enough to raise your profile, and 2 to 3 hours per week are enough to maintain an active presence, but not too much to neglect your duties. Also, consider teamwork. Maybe this is an idea that resonates with you to operate a social media channel like LinkedIn together. So, for instance, in many research groups, people participate in communication and jointly organize their online presence. So it's not that you have to do everything, but rather you can contribute to an online presence of your group or your project without having to do everything by yourself. And last but not least, there are a number of tools that you can use to make the most out of your time and help you work efficiently. That can be ChatGPT to help you draft, revise posts that match your audience. Buffer and Hootsuite are also tools that can be helpful. So using automated tools can significantly reduce your workload and still allow you to be efficient. So by now, you probably also already get the impression, yes, you need a professional LinkedIn profile also as a researcher. So let's look at the essentials of a strong, professional, and appealing profile. First, there's the banner. So that's the space behind your profile picture, which is valuable real estate. Use it to communicate what you do. People should immediately understand your professional identity when they land on your profile. And second, the profile picture. Choose a picture that focuses mainly on your face, smile, and ideally show your upper body, head and shoulders. It doesn't need to be fancy, just professional and approachable. And it can also be a good photo taken with your phone. That's also totally okay. Third, we have the headline below your name. And this headline matters more than you may think. This is one of the places where the LinkedIn algorithm pulls from when recruiters search for candidates. So use terminology that your target group understands and your target group may be searching for as a keyword. So avoid generic and too broad buzzwords. A good headline always shows what kind of problems you solve and what your expertise is. So for instance, instead of just writing PhD student in energy economics at BTU Cottbus, think rather in skills, expertise, problems you solve, or things you offer. So for the PhD candidate in energy economics, it could, for instance, be supporting energy transition, modeling energy systems, or improving forecasts. I hope you get the idea. Fourth, we have the About Me section. So please write something here. It may take some time. You can have a draft that you improve over time, maybe also get some feedback on, but don't just list achievements. Show also your human side. Let people connect with you and tell a story. For instance, why do you do what you do? What are you curious about? What are you moving forward? These are, for instance, useful guiding questions. Don't make it too long. You have 3 different versions here on the slide. The first one is already pretty long. Also support your text with examples and with numbers. And ChatGPT can support you with writing a text that fits your audience and is appealing. Fifth on, we have the experiences section. And one question I often get, should I put my PhD at work as work experience? The simple answer is yes. So your PhD is your work experience because you produce results, you solve problems, you troubleshoot experiments, you manage projects, and collaborate with others. That all belongs into the experiences section. And last but not least, make use of the full spectrum of sections that LinkedIn gives you. So, for instance, the feature section allows you to prominently showcase selected posts or documents rather on top of your profile. The project section allows you to link to research and other projects. And so visitors on your profile can quickly see what else you are doing or have been doing. The skills section allows you to list your core skills and have people who have worked with you also endorse your skills to add credibility. So this section, the skills section, is also crucial for matching with recruiter search terms. So, you can adjust it, you can add and maybe take off a few skills depending on your development and your current goals. And last but not least, LinkedIn also gives you the option to link to your full list of publications. So the LinkedIn algorithm rewards completed profiles. At the same time, your profile can and should grow with your experiences, skills, and interests. And I recommend to update your profile from time to time or change if necessary. Now, what are simple ways after you have a profile and have an updated profile? What are some simple ways to get you active on LinkedIn and increase your visibility? My advice is start, as always, with the low-hanging fruits. So a first step could be following interesting and relevant people or organizations to stay up to date on what others are doing that might post relevant content. The second level would be reposting posts that you find interesting to your own network, ideally with a short comment on why your network should look at this. The third step would be commenting. So by reacting to others' updates or findings, you position yourself as a real listener. And reciprocity wins trust faster than solitary showboarding. So use comments as an accessible way to participate. And thoughtful comments can spark valuable exchange. And commenting also allows you to contribute expertise without preparing long posts by yourself. And last but not least, the highest level of being active on LinkedIn is community building via creating your own content and posts. So in my experience, while many researchers fear self-promotion, Reframing the process as community building offers a more constructive lens. Short, consistent updates and personal reflections can illuminate entire fields and spark cross-disciplinary synergy. And then everybody has something from your content, so it can be a win-win situation. Now, when sharing your research or talking about your research, it's important to remember that not all of your followers will be expert in your field, right? So break down complex terms and use simpler language. Tell stories that people can connect with and explain why your research matters in a real-world context. Short paragraphs, spacing, and a clear structure help the reader to stay with your message, and good formatting supports good communication. Visual content catches people's attention also more than just text and makes scientific concepts easier to understand. So, share relevant images, videos, graphs, or illustrations to highlight key points of your research. And infographics and short videos can be particularly effective in science communication. And last but not least, at the end of a post, include a call to action. So, encourage people in writing to read your academic paper or your study or your scientific support report or whatever you are sharing by providing a direct link to your article or the document you are referring to. And also, hashtags help people discover your content. So in the slides, I'm providing you with a list of popular hashtags as well. And if you use the and then add another profile or an organization, this will help to put your post into their timeline and make it easier to be found by the people you want to reach with your post. Now, as I come towards the end of my input, I want you to take a pen and a paper or your notebook app and note down 1, 2, or 3 things for each of the following questions so that you can collect some initial ideas on what you could post. Are you ready? You don't have to overthink it and just write down whatever comes to your mind in keywords. Doesn't have to be full sentences. So you don't need to think too much on it. You can still add to your list after the session and in the next week. Okay, then I'm gonna show you the questions. So first up, one idea for a first post could be, how did you become a scientist? A second idea could be starting by telling people what fascinates you about your field, your research topic, or your approach. A third possible question: what does your daily life as a scientist look like? This could, for instance, interest people in starting to study your field or attract people to research similar questions. The fourth question could be, as an inspiration to a post, what was your last breakthrough or setback or learning? And if it was a setback, ideally you can combine it with a learning so that other people may not do the same mistakes as you do. And last but not least, what resources, tools, or methods can you recommend to others? This could also be an idea for a first post. Now you get the slides. So if you didn't find an answer to everything immediately, don't worry. You have it in the slides and you have it in the video. Now, why I was doing this exercise with you is also because I would like to start a little competition for the participants of this second Bits and Bytes sessions. So, if you publish a post on your LinkedIn profile by February 22nd, that is Sunday, answering one of the questions I just mentioned, or one learning from today's session that you would like to share, and link to at GSO on LinkedIn, at Birte Seffert, that's me, at Energie-Innovationszentrum, Cottbus, so EIZ, and last but not least at BTU. Then next week, Monday, we will choose the best post from all of the posts that match this criteria. And the best post will win a 30-minute LinkedIn profile chat with me. So then I'm going to contact you. That's the idea. Since we have enough time for questions, you can also ask me follow-up questions if the idea for this post competition was not so clear. So don't worry. Ask me any questions you would like to. And if you want to learn more about how to make use of LinkedIn as a researcher, then I recommend you check out our career resources section on the GSO website, gsonet.org. And if you want to stay updated with our offers in general, then feel free to register to our newsletter and, of course, follow us on LinkedIn. So this was it for my input today. And I'm now open and curious about your questions. Thank you.